To today's Synergist product demo webinar, Going Digital, Dive into Gensuite's Industrial Hygiene Module. I'm Kay Bechtold, Managing Editor of the Synergist, the magazine of AIHA. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today, and especially Gensuite for sponsoring this webinar. Today's product demo is scheduled for 30 minutes, and we'd like to reserve some time for questions from the audience, so I'm going to dive right in and quickly introduce today's speaker, Susan Boone. Susan has 10 years of EHS leadership experience, including development and management of EHS programs at a site, business, and as an industrial hygiene program leader. She has a Master of Health Science in Environmental Health Science and Industrial Hygiene from Johns Hopkins University Bloomberg School of Public Health and a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and Environmental Science and Policy Biology from Hartwick College. And now I'll turn the presentation over to Susan.
Great, thank you so much. I appreciate the introduction, and welcome to everyone who's joined today. It's wonderful to have the opportunity to present probably my favorite module of the Gensuite suite, which is our industrial hygiene module. Now, one of the unique elements of the Gensuite platform is all of our modules were designed by and for environmental health and safety professionals, including the industrial hygiene module, which was originally designed and developed by a group of industrial hygienists. So hopefully today you'll see some functionality that provides you with an insight onto the capabilities of the module for supporting industrial hygiene management processes. So today we're going to give you a very high level of the Gensuite platform, some information on the industrial hygiene solution, and do a quick online tour. So I look forward to the opportunity to share this information with you. Gensuite was originally launched back in the late 90s, and the concept started within GE as a solution for general compliance management. Now, since those original modules were originally developed, we've grown exponentially, and that has to do with two specific elements. First and foremost, the breadth and depth of our solution, which covers a variety of different disciplines, including environmental health and safety, sustainability, sourcing, quality, asset management, security, and product stewardship. Another unique element of our platform is our service model. Each one of our Gensuite subscribers is specifically aligned with a Gensuite customer support team. They are their partners, not only during the deployment process, but also on an ongoing basis. So our subscribers never call into a call center. They're always working with a team that understands them, their unique needs, and is able to help them be successful not only in the deployment process, but also on an ongoing basis. And the Gensuite modules are offered as a software as a service, and we, because of that, are able to offer a couple unique experiences. The first is we are a non-version solution, which means our platform is continuously evolving, and we are providing new features and functionality to our subscribers on an ongoing basis. That's a wonderful opportunity for a tremendous amount of return on investment to have a future-proof platform. In addition to the best practice-driven workflows, which are a core of the Gensuite modules, we also believe very strongly in the ability to have all levels of the organization access Gensuite and use and find value from all of our tools. And one of the ways we're able to do that is we do not have a per-user license model. So we enable all of your organization's users, whether it's someone who might be reporting a concern to a leadership team member who wants to look at one of our configurable dashboards, all of your employees can find value in the Gensuite solution. Finally, our platform has a number of integrated features and functionality that enable you to do detailed reporting and analytics, whether it's specifically in a module, like looking at industrial hygiene monitoring data or risk assessment, or looking platform-wide at configurable dashboards, including our most recent addition to the Gensuite reporting suite through a partnership with Tableau in our Gensuite Analytics module. Gensuite even has our own virtual assistant available. That's Jenny. She's much like a Siri or this nice little device on my desk whose name I won't say, who tells me when my packages are going to arrive. So wonderful features there. One of the other valuable elements of the Gensuite platform is that we do have a seamlessly integrated Gensuite mobile native app that's available on Apple and Android devices. So you can utilize those capabilities of the Gensuite platform from a smartphone or a tablet, and all of that is included in our standard platform. I'm going to start specifically talking about our industrial hygiene solution, which is used by a number of organizations currently to assist with the process from anticipation of the hazards associated with a variety of different exposures, chemical, physical, or other, and then recognizing what the risk level of those exposures is, doing that quantitative assessment and analysis, and then providing the opportunity to have seamlessly integrated solutions that help you from a compliance management process. One of the wonderful things about Gensuite is we do have a solution that fits all different sizes of organizations. So we may have a single site with 100 people all the way up to some very large organizations that are using the Gensuite industrial hygiene tool. At this point, I'm going to transition over into an online tour of our platform so you can see some of the elements that are incorporated directly into the Gensuite platform. What you're looking at here is our Gensuite main portal landing page along with our dashboard component. Looking at this, you can also see easy access to information such as your access to your modules, dashboard components, and if you give me a second here, I'm going to stop sharing just for a quick moment here. Apparently, I've got some annotation. There we go. Let me get rid of that so I can showcase to you the modules themselves. So you have easy click access to get into the industrial hygiene module to the left-hand side here, but also tremendous capability for dashboarding and analytical components that are configured and personalized for your individual deployment. I'm going to start our tour with the industrial hygiene module here in the beginning with the quantitative assessment. A couple things to note about the Gensuite modules. As a whole, we do have a standard look and feel and dynamic to all of our modules. What that does is that gives the organizations that are using a variety of different modules for a holistic solution the ability to easily navigate between them with very little learning curve. So an employee who might be using one module might move to the next, and it always feels like home to them. So that's very important for our organization. Now, each one of our modules has some actionable things you can do as someone that's adding in new records or someone that's in a more administrative functionality. We always have filter criteria that gives you the ability to look at your data, whether it's by a department, who authored the assessment, or from an industrial hygiene perspective, specific things like your SEG or the process or activity that was analyzed during your risk assessment process. The Gensuite Industrial Hygiene module does have integrated components for both risk assessment as well as your quantitative assessments through your monitoring. They are all integrated together. Now, all of the modules also have a dashboard component. Depending on the module you're looking at, it might be something like a simple table with easy visibility to information. It may be a calendar view, it may be a bar chart or a graph. So lots of ability to easily see information and to click on them and access those. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, all of the Gensuite modules are workflow-based, and that industrial hygiene module is included in that. The workflow component here that you have visibility to is that we do have an approval process for your risk assessments that you can utilize to maybe have groups of employees or individuals that are providing inputs and insights and developing your assessments, but with the opportunity to have a subject matter expert or leadership person to be able to do the final okay. So if I click on this approved here, it's going to give me the 15 risk assessments that have been completed from a qualitative standpoint. Now, this report view here does give you visibility to the information about the assessment itself, the title, the activity associated with it. your risk assessment details and the parameters associated, which you can simply expand to get to that granular information about the constituents and the risk rating for each one of them, and with some nice visual management cues from a risk perspective. You also have the Gensuite patented organizational hierarchy that's built into this module that gives you 14 levels of granularity, all the way up from your entire business level through organization down to workstation. So it can be very specific. You'll also note we have lots of different formats for extracting information from the tool. If you wanted to do so, you certainly have the ability to do that as well. When I click into an actual assessment, there's lots of information that you can gather to characterize the risk associated with this particular process. So the ability for you to add in information about what project is being evaluated, the detailed process as part of that, your exposure group, to characterize the number of employees, any engineering controls, your organizational elements, your job titles, your process, and then all of the Gensuite modules do accommodate attachments. So you can associate SOPs, lab results, other documentation, and if you're using our integrated mobile capability, you also can take pictures and edit them and associate them with records. So lots of great functionality from that perspective. Now, one nice thing about the Gensuite Industrial Hygiene module is it does give you a completely integrated approach. So if I would like to look at all of the monitoring associated with this particular assessment, a simple click on this number 2 here will give me those monitoring records. Now, Gensuite's Industrial Hygiene module does have 2 different risk assessment options. We have a high-level simple option, which simply gives you the ability to characterize the risks at a high level and the protective measures in place. We also have a more detailed quantitative model that gives you the ability to identify the detailed constituents. So in this case, you'll see some constituents here, the agents of concern, and to create an actual risk score based on a number of different parameters. Now, you do also have the ability to characterize if medical surveillance is required for each one of these assessments, incorporate any worker concerns that have been brought up, and a number of different elements, including the ability to characterize exposure pathways that are above and beyond inhalation. Now, one of the wonderful things that I can say about the Gensuite modules and the platform as a whole, as I actually used the platform for a number of years before I came onto the Gensuite team, is the ability to have all of your information connected together and integrated. So I could look at my industrial hygiene assessments and not only see the risk profiling of the assessment, but any associated references from an SDS standpoint. I also have integrated calendar tasks where I could schedule things like upcoming monitoring, any calibration or other elements that I needed to manage from an equipment standpoint, or any other number of different types of tasks that might be associated with this assessment. Much like that, we also have our integrated action tracking system. This gives you the ability to identify any different kind of corrective action associated with your risk assessment. So if during that process you identify some opportunities for improvement, it's easy to integrate them together, and you can see that right here from this export action to action tracking system, all in one place. So from here, you have abilities to add in a monitoring record associated with this particular risk assessment. We've also taken great care to ensure that there are processes for you to easily get information into the Gensuite platform. So you'll see here the ability to do a batch upload, not only of the risk assessments, but of the monitoring as well. And I am going to transition into the segment to talk a little bit about the more quantitative assessment. So hopefully you're seeing some consistency here, that you have the ability to look in a very detailed way at all of your monitoring. One of the other nice things about the platform is, again, if I want to look at all of the information across my business, as long as I have permissions to be able to do so, because Gensuite is a platform that provides you with a matrix-based permission model, giving you the ability to designate permissions not only in the module itself, but also at an organizational level. so you can control access to information. Now you'll see similar setup here, the ability for me to look at data in a very specific way, to look at things that have been recently added and then check on the status of my monitoring. But I'm simply going to port for acetone. So what I'm able to see here is all of the monitoring throughout my entire business for acetone. Now, some things you'll note here, you do have, again, high-level visibility, very easy to information, including the parameter and the monitoring results, as well as the OEL details. Now, you'll see a nice little icon here. This is an integrated component with our incident management module, which gives you the ability to seamlessly incorporate any exceedances into the incidents and measurement module, which gives you a built-in root cause analysis and investigation process. So a great way to close the loop for any monitoring that maybe exceeded your OEL parameters. Now you'll also see here that our platform does have the ability to generate your employee notification letters in a variety of different formats. And also, we have the ability for you to have those emailed automatically through the platform. As part of our integrated workflow components, all of the Gensuite modules do have a number of strategic email notifications that are associated with it. So you do have some that are part of that workflow that provide you updates for the status of items. You also have some that are summary in nature. Now, while I was talking, I navigated to the monitoring entry form. One option that we have built in for the platform is for you to be able to create monitoring templates. So if you monitor for things on a routine basis that have a number of different parameters associated with it, you can create templates for that that make it very easy for you to enter information into the platform. You'll be able to characterize information about the assessment itself that comes directly from that qualitative assessment component, so you don't have to rekey in information or anything like that. It really makes it very simple. All I have to do is pick that I am doing this monitoring today. So the monitoring elements of it, we have some unique items that we've built in recently. Of course, you have your standard components, your date, your shift, the type of monitoring. We do accommodate a variety of different types of monitoring the platform. We do have integrated GPS coordinates so that you can actually locate your monitoring. And we do have a mapper component that's built into the platform so that you can actually pull up your industrial hygiene data on either a Google Map type overlay, or we even have a site mapper option where we can incorporate a CAD drawing. So really nice options there for you. You can incorporate your SEG groups depending on how your business does it. And we also provide a combination, you'll see, of drop-down menus and free text to give you the ability to do very valuable downstream reporting and analytics, but also to be able to put in as much detail as you'd like to. Of course, this is an employee sample, so we do have the employee segment that is incorporated in this record. You'll be able to, if you'd like to, associate an HR system integration so that you can look up employee information. You can characterize the reason for your sampling. If notification is required, you'll see that you can track the notification and have that assessment emailed to you. Finally, the monitoring component, just briefly, you can capture a tremendous amount of information in the platform about the sampling event itself. So everything from your sampling methodology and your parameter media, any notes on calibration or the analytical methods used. But you also have the ability to incorporate the important elements of the actual results. We have 3 different options that our subscribers can take advantage of. Putting in just base values or laboratory values or things that are not associated with the time-weighted average. You can directly input your time-weighted average, and we also have the capability to calculate it for you. So lots of flexibility to accommodate all the different types of monitoring that our subscribers might have. So I do want to take some time here, and once you've got those 2 elements of data in, so you've identified your risks, you've done your quantitative assessment, you might want to be able to do some reporting and analytics. So first and foremost, as part of your sampling, I did want to mention that you do have the capability right within the platform to generate a sampling plan for your organization that you have visibility to through this quick link here. You also have a risk writing report that is based on your qualitative assessment, an easy way to look at your risks. This is a great example of some of the easy reporting we have in the platform. So as an example, if I wanted to just see things that have a high final risk rating, I can do that and showcase the data here in an easy way. So I can look at my different elements. So that's one option. If you would like to get into some detail for the statistical analysis of your actual result data, we do have an integrated AIHA analyzer. So within Gensuite, you have a number of different tiers of reporting. You have your in-module filter criteria. You have your filterable reports that look at a variety of different elements in a particular module. You also have configurable dashboards that you can use that go look across any of the modules you have in the platform. And then, as I mentioned before, we have that new Gensuite Analytics that's powered by Tableau that we can utilize to do a number of different reporting options. So what you'll see here is I just simply filtered. I'm using that same acetone value here. I've asked it to tell me all of my records across the business. I've put in the associated appel with that. And of course, you can look up other OELs and use a more restrictive value if that works for your organization. But I just wanted to show you that we do have a detailed statistical analysis tool that's built in that you can utilize to look at your data. So that's integrated in. In addition, as I've been kind of going through the variety of different reporting options, I did mention that you have, your in-module reports here. You have your AIHA analyzer and your filter criteria, but I did want to just show you a quick report that's built in Tableau specifically for the industrial hygiene module. We do have standard reports that come with our platform in Tableau, but our subscribers also are able to take advantage of designer and editor licensing to enable you to build your own reports. And we also have a team of experts that can build reports for you. So I'm just simply looking at, again, all of my risk assessments and their rating. I do have filter criteria. So if I want to just, for example, look at all of the risk ratings that are number 4, I can do that, and I have the ability to manipulate this data to fit my needs. So those are some of the key features that you'll find in the Gensuite modules as a whole and in the industrial hygiene module. So I do believe we only have about 6 minutes left, and I don't know if there are questions, but I want to make sure I have the ability to answer them, and I can transition back into that file so I can, go through a couple things about where we're going from an industrial hygiene perspective.
Thank you, Susan. Yeah, it looks like we have about 5 minutes left for questions. Just a reminder, if you'd like to ask a question, please type it into the chat window on the right side of your screen and send to all panelists. Our first question, Susan, is we have a different risk-based exposure assessment to assess OIH risk. Can it be integrated here?
Absolutely. And I didn't get a chance to go through our detailed qualitative assessment module. We do have a very granular assessment that's parameter by parameter that characterizes different exposure pathways, so things like inhalation, dermal, and ingestion risk, which we can definitely showcase to folks who'd like to see that. And then if that model doesn't fit exactly what you utilize, we can configure the module specifically to mirror your modeling method.
Okay, great. Thank you. The next question we have is, what other integrated modules are available that integrate with and support industrial hygiene program management?
Excellent. So we talked about some of those. Our incident management module that has the opportunity to do your follow-up investigation and root cause analysis. We also talked about compliance calendar, where you can schedule your one-time and recurring tasks, as well as the action tracking system. Also mentioned the SDS system, as you can associate various chemicals with your risk assessment. But we didn't talk about the safety risk assessment module, which is your detailed safety analysis on a task-by-task basis that is also integrated with the industrial hygiene module. And our newest release that is coming from an industrial hygiene integration is through our MedCare, or our occupational health module, that enables you to take right from the industrial hygiene module those variety of different contaminants that require employees to have, routine medical surveillance like audiometric exams, respiratory fit testing, all those different elements, and incorporate it with that module too. Now, what you're also seeing on the screen is a showcase of some of the things that we're doing, and one other thing that I didn't get an opportunity to mention to you is the integration with our mapper tool, so that you can showcase on a map the actual industrial hygiene records, monitoring records. So all of those tools and modules are built in together.
Okay, great. Susan, we don't have another question at the moment. Was there anything else that you wanted to tell attendees about that you didn't get a chance to in these last 2 minutes here?
Sure. So one thing that we do want to highlight is all of the capabilities that are integrated with any Gensuite platform. I mentioned at the beginning our mobile native mobile app that's available, our data mining tools and analytics. We didn't get too much into QR code scanning, but that's an extremely neat feature that allows you to use the mobile device QR code scanning. And for example, scan an inspection, scan a QR code and pull up an site-based inspection, or scan a secondary container label and pull up an SDS. So lots of opportunities there, but really want to highlight just the amazing support that we provide through our dedicated support team that keeps our subscribers, as partners of ours, and coming back to us. When they leave an organization they're with, I have a lot of people that come back to us, and that's a wonderful thing. And I did also want to mention, if there are those on the call that would like more information, you certainly are more than welcome to reach out to us. We also, although we do the software solution part of things, we do have a number of partner organizations like ISS that can help from an IH technical standpoint. So if you're looking for a holistic solution that not only provides the monitoring, the risk assessment completion, and a tool to help you manage those things on an ongoing basis, we certainly have partnered solutions that we can provide.
Okay, great. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. My thanks to Susan Boone for her presentation, to Gensuite for sponsoring today's webinar, and to all of our participants. Please keep an eye out for announcements of future Synergist webinars. Hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity.